Thank you. All right, we're going to call to order the September 14th Board of Ed meeting at 6:08. And as a result of COVID-19, we're holding this meeting in person, following safety guidelines for social distancing and wearing masks for the health and safety of our board members and our administration. There will be no public participation this evening, and the meeting is closed to the public. The meeting will be streamed on our district YouTube page. And I thank the technology team for setting up this meeting so that we can be here in person. We can do the slides, please. Put your mic down. Let's go. Okay, thank you. All right, can I get a motion to come out of the executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Sarah, second?
Second.
Katie, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 5-0. All right, we will resume our regular board meeting. And just before we get started, I'm going to hand it off to John in a second. I just want to make a quick comment, saying thank you to all of our staff and our community for our first week back to school. I thought it was great seeing a lot of social media with the kids in school and all the little workstations at home, and it was very exciting just seeing activities at the schools, cars in the parking lots, and thank you again for everybody's hard work, and it was really great. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
So, John?
Okay, correspondence. Acknowledge the receipt of a letter of appreciation from the Food Bank of Hudson Valley at the Section 9 Championship that were hosted at Valley Central in February. The boys swim and dive team, their coaches and parents held a fundraiser for the food bank. They collected 328 pounds of food and cash donations totaling $200. So thank you for that. Every dollar donated us, we can turn into 4 meals, and with the monetary contribution and the weight of the donations, we can provide 1,073 meals. And we thank you very much for that. And just a reminder, virtual open houses have been scheduled as follows. Berea, September 23rd at 6 p.m. East Coldingham Elementary, September 23rd at 6 p.m. Middle School, says Middle School, Berea Elementary, just the one. It shouldn't be both, right? It would just be the middle school on September, it's the same, okay, it's the same night, I'm sorry. It had on the 23rd at 7 o'clock for the middle school and Berea, as I mentioned previously. Montgomery Elementary, September 24th at 6, and in Montgomery Elementary, September 24th at 7. So they must be breaking it up. Is the way it's going, right? Yes.
The elementary schools are meeting tomorrow to get the specifics,
Okay.
but they're going to have one meet, and then they're going to have one video, and then they're going to have Google Meets.
Okay.
Parents can come and ask questions.
So that's an aggregate. We'll have one at 6 one Montgomery Elementary, at 6, and the second one, you'll get more information. And then ALC will be September 30th at 6 p.m. Thank you.
The high school?
I don't have one for the high school here. I'm sorry. I don't have it.
Let me find that one.
We'll have to get that for you. Good question. Thank you. So. Commendation, Scott Warner has been named by the National Federation of High School Sports as the Girls Swimming and Diving Coach of the Year. He's been coaching the team since 1993. Congratulations to Scott. We're all very, very proud of you. Great job. And that's that.
Good. All right, next on the agenda is the proposed consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve? Sarah, Mel, second. Any discussion?
I just have a question in regards to still suspending public participation. When do we anticipate that we're gonna open public participation back up?
Yeah, so we actually talked about it. I think the governor extended us one more month to stay enclosed. And then we were talking to see what we can do as far as opening it up and the possibility of us having it in the great cafeteria. But we're looking at the technology to make sure that everything will work. So it is something we're looking at, but we don't have a date yet at this time. Anything to add? That's pretty much it.
I think we have some concerns about the public entering buildings at night, and we're trying to get clean and sanitized with, this, but we'll do it as a board.
Yeah, so we just talked about this last week, so we're looking at it. Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approved, 5-0. Okay, next on the agenda is reports.
I want to mention that I spoke to Senator Skoufis on Friday morning along with Brad and Jackie Lorica. Sure, I'm sorry. And just to ask them, tell them again, we're having a board meeting on Monday night, which is tonight. Our board is anxiously waiting any kind of guidance he could help us with. I will tell you, he doesn't have any information. He said he thinks he'll have better information in a couple weeks. I said, well, one of the things that's certainly hanging out there for our community is the universal pre-K. I said, we're going to make a decision on that in October. So any information about that would be certainly useful because unless we don't know we're going to get the grant, it's $1 million, it doesn't look like we're going to have that this year. So he told me to give him a call back, which I will. The only thing he would kind of cop to, for lack of a better word, he said that he didn't believe it would be 20%. Okay, that was the one thing he could get right back. He said, I can't, in the worst case scenario, I don't think it'll be 20, but he said certainly it could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 15. They're waiting on the feds also, they're still waiting for that. And I think I was misguided or misunderstood him when I spoke to him back in August. I thought they were going back to session right after Labor Day. I believe either they're going back this week or next week to be in session, and he felt they would get more information there. He still said the same thing, that when the governor proposes the cuts, whatever they are, they have 10 days to react to them. And they talked about the millionaire's tax, they talked about licensing, they talked about, I think, legalizing marijuana, all different kinds of things. So anyway, and I just want to reiterate real quick what Joe said. The opening school, I've had the pleasure of going to the high school, middle school every day with Brad and Mary Ann, and it's amazing to see the amount of adults. I said to Russ Burns today, I know we can't do this when we get back on a regular basis, but if I'm a parent or anybody driving by and you see in the morning between 7:15 and 8 o'clock, probably, 15, 20 adults out there. We have 6 or 8 nurses, or people, I should say, not nurses, taking temperatures. The first day, Brad felt that they weren't getting out fast enough and they're backed up on 17K. So they found enough people, the first 8 buses that come in, they get red and they single file go in and we keep the line going. Today, we had every bus was in and the kids by, I think, 8:02. And I think we're basically required, not required, but I think 8:10 is our time. So we're almost 7-8 minutes ahead of time. So they've done a terrific job of planning. Again, the task force, Brad, Mary Ann, and Connie leading that, and all the other people certainly with their roles, and all the rank and file, they did a tremendous job because, like Joe, I don't see much on social media. I'm not on that, but I've spoken to a lot of people just stuck in the community that thank you, that the school district and the board for supporting and having a plan to open up. So I appreciate your support certainly and the hard work of our central office, and the whole district did a phenomenal job. Thanks.
John? All right, Mary Ann?
Sure, I just wanted to repeat what really has already been said, that I'm really very grateful to all the teachers and administrators and to the Board of Ed for supporting the reopening plan, because it couldn't have really gone any more smooth on the first day. I was very nervous going over to the high school after 6 months and waiting to see what this was gonna look like, and I have to tell you, that staff was on key. It was like smooth as butter. Those kids were in, people were doing what they needed to do, so the openings have gone very well. I can tell you that right now, as of today, 70% of our population is actually in school, either in the hybrid method or in the 5-day-a-week method, and we have 30% that are 100% online. The one issue that we are working towards fixing is there are still some technology glitches that we are having. We did come up with a plan to fix that, and we have that plan in place, but it's going to take us about 7 weeks to get the equipment that we need to make this a smoother operation for teachers. It will help if they have document cameras that have microphones, so that it is easier for them to use their desktops as opposed to their Chromebooks for Google Meets. So we're working on that. Convocation was excellent. Every teacher in this district did 9 hours of professional development over the 3 days, and the best part about it is that they had a menu of things that they could choose from, so that they got to choose what it was that was most beneficial to them. So I think all in all, we have had a great opening. There's still some challenges to overcome, but I gotta tell you, there's nothing like seeing kindergartners dancing around their desks to see what 6 feet was. It really brought tears to our eyes. And I did have a number of teachers that have been coming up to me just as parents, really saying thank you for opening the doors of Valley Central. So we do have a lot to be proud of, and a lot more work to do, but I think we're going to be okay.
Great, thank you. All right, this is Official Brad.
So a quick update on transportation. So overall, pretty smooth. I understand having only 70% of the kids that are coming in right now certainly helps. One of the issues we kind of had a spike on early today was mechanical breakdowns. Kind of attributed that to the buses that were sitting for 6 months. And nothing crazy, but there was a few out there. We had some confusion on student schedules, so we had some students that were not assigned to come in that day that we had on buses, so we figured that all out. There were literally hundreds of changes in the last couple of days. It was very hard to keep up with. Our average bus load is around 11 students per bus. Some are higher, some are near capacity, some just have 2 or 3 students on there, but overall, very pleased with how transportation has gone so far. We received a notice, switch topics to the town of Montgomery. So the district received notice from the town of Montgomery IDA regarding a public hearing that's coming up, where they are considering revising the existing uniform tax exemption policy, which can be viewed on the agency's website at montgomeryida.com/resources. A public hearing will be held on October 13th at 1 p.m. I have not had a great chance to read through the details yet, but I believe Mr. Bond, you have, and I don't know if you have any comments you'd like to make now or save them for.
I'll go to your number.
Okay. And as far as we were talking about EPK with Senator Skoufis, I will tell you that it does not look good, but we need a few more weeks to figure it out. And that brings us to the budget and our conversation as Mr. Xanthus explained. Skoufis was very clear that the state's finances are in dire condition. And it would be foolish to think that cuts were not coming to some level. It's just a matter of how severe they could be. That being said, we will begin working as an administration to put together possible scenarios, and whether that's a 3% cut, a 5% cut, a 10% cut, or up to 15 to 20% cut, which would be absolutely devastating to this district. We hope that it does not get near that level, but it would be foolish for us not to start thinking about plans at this time. And that's all I have.
Okay. So, yeah, actually, I was going to mention that, so I'm glad you said that, and I'm not trying anything or anybody, but I think we have a harsh reality here with the state, so I'm glad we're gonna start looking at that. And, the idea, I just think that, I applaud the variety that they're trying to do with the technology and the different incentives, but I just think that the percentages that they have in this do not help our case at all, so it's very concerning, with the percentages that they're throwing. So, all right, next is policy committee, which I think I'm gonna skip, because we're gonna do that later on in the agenda. We have policy committee, everything is related to basically COVID, so I don't know if there's any more comment on that at this point. Oxford delegates? Sarah?
I was able to attend the meeting via Zoom. Barry Entwistle from the NISBA Director of Women Relations was there and spoke a lot about the convention in October. It will be all virtual. All the sessions will be recorded, so you won't be like last year where you only go to one session at a time, so you'll just go back and view any session you choose to see. The NISBA business meeting, will be separate, and Mel was our delegate for that, we'll get a separate invite for that. In our blue folder should be the, resolutions that, the committee is recommending, so we have to go through them, read them, and let Mel know if we agree with the recommendations of the committee. So probably by maybe the first meeting in October. Is that okay, Mel?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you just want to send me an email of what you disagree with or want, everybody will know, probably nothing, discrepancies, we'll discuss. We will vote.
Many of the board members shared about their specific schools reopening, and really the consensus was that many of the schools needed more time for various reasons. And they also spoke about meetings, and many boards are still actually meeting online. Some are meeting in person with no public, and very few have the public back in. But they have all moved to bigger areas like auditoriums or cafeterias, and they are limiting the total number of people there to less than 50. So just as a point of information from the other schools. And that's about it. Thank you.
Sarah? In a moment?
Yep, but in front of you, I believe, we're down about 100 students, from where we closed school. So looking at that, class sizes are in terrific shape, and, we're doing well in that regard. I want to just, Ellen was nice enough to find for me so I could read to the record. So the high school opening house is, September 22nd. And I'm assuming, Ellen, at 6 o'clock.
Yes. Oh, so let me just double check on that.
And I said Montgomery's was September 24th, which is at 6 o'clock. Walden Elementary is September also 24th at 7 o'clock. Okay?
And the high school is 7 o'clock on the 22nd.
High school 7 o'clock. So everybody, did I clarify for everybody? Thank you, thank you, Joe.
Good, good. All right, next item on the agenda is old business. First is the approval of the secondary physical education. Can I get a motion to approve?
We'll make the motion.
No?
Second.
Sarah, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, 5-0. Next is the adoption of the district goals. Can I get a motion to adopt?
We'll make the motion.
No? Second? Katie, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah. Next is the adoption of resolution. I'm going to read it. Resolved that all brought by the parents of student number 2020-6 be resolved in lieu of an impartial due process hearing in accordance with the terms and conditions of the stipulation to be entered into the board and the towns in a form satisfactory to the district's attorney. Be it further resolved that the board authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the aforementioned stipulation. Can I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
I'll make a motion.
Sarah, second.
I'll second.
Mel, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 5-0. Okay, that's all for old business. We're gonna move on to new business. So for new business, we're gonna start with the first reading of policies. And again, I'm just gonna read the changes. We have the full policy for you to read if you'd like. And again, primarily related to COVID items. So first is policy 1240. Visitors to the schools have been updated to reflect new health and safety protocols for visitors to the schools. Regulation 4526-R, computer and networked information resources, has been advised to include exceptions for the use of computers and network resources during remote learning. Policy 5100, which is attendance, has been revised to include language regarding how attendance will be taken. This policy revision is in accordance with the provisions made during the COVID reopening. Policy 5151, homeless children, has been modified to clarify that the district must allow homeless students to participate in extracurricular activities in summer school to the same extent as other district students. Policy 5330, searches and interrogations, has been revised to provide notice that administrators, school health personnel, or their designees are authorized to take a student's temperature upon entry into a building or school-sponsored event and activities, whether on or off school grounds. Policy 9590, family medical leave, has been updated to include information regarding employees' eligibility for leave related to COVID-19 pandemic. The remainder of the above listed policies, exhibit regulations have been revised due to changes in the district's organization and administrative titles. All of the policies, exhibits, regulations presented for the first reading have been reviewed by the district's attorney and the policy committee. All proposed revisions have been posted on the district website with the supporting documentation for tonight's meeting and will be presented to the Board of Education at its September 29th meeting for adoption. Okay.
Hello, I have a question,
Yes.
regarding one of the policies. And it wasn't a change, it was actually in there, but I just never noticed it before, so I wanted to ask a question about it.
Which one?
The searches and interrogation.
Okay.
So the school has a right to tell a child to take off their clothes?
Not
It
strip
says
search.
in here.
Does it say strip search?
It says realizing the intrusive nature of a search which requires the student to remove any / and or all clothing
Schools that do have that, right? I believe.
to strip search.
No, but again, I don't think we strip search, we would never do that.
I mean, but it says it.
It says strip search.
It says any and or all clothing.
This is just the first reading. So you
Right.
can ask-
We can ask the attorney, certainly.
Yeah, I would like
Okay.
clarification on that, because it doesn't even say like, with parent's permission, you'll call a parent first, doesn't say, like, it just says that you have the right to do that.
Okay. Sure. We'll get some clarification for them.
Thank you.
Good question. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yep.
All right, very good, thank you, Susan. All right, good. Okay, so next item is just review of curriculum, grade 7 math concepts is available for review. And last item is the approval of academic intervention services plan. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mel, thank you, second.
Second.
Sarah, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 5-0. Okay, that's the last item on our agenda tonight, so we will close out. Good. Okay, all right, so can I get a motion to adjourn? Second? Sarah, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, approved 5-0. Thank you very much. That concludes our meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
You got your giant blue one, is that what that is?
No, it's got the-
You're still live.
Yeah.
Still live.